The end of the season is fast approaching now. I think we're at game 30 for pretty much everybody. And despite the fears in the early part of the season, it appears that it's not going to be a runaway title win for Manchester United as big as we thought. And the loss against West Brom further hampered that possibility today. They need a bounce back win fast. And as you can see, the 30th game for Manchester United, still 2 points clear at the top of Arsenal, but the whole of the top four, maybe even a couple outside of that, are really chasing the leaders down. They've led the majority of the season, but their form is starting to tell a bit of a different story. Manchester United starting today, it's David De Gea with Darmian, Bailly, Piqué and Luke Shaw, with Schneider, Herrera, Mkhitaryan, Anthony Martial and Juan Mata playing behind Zlatan and Ibrahimovic. Two noticeable inclusions are academy youngsters Ollie Cox and Hugh Cooper on the bench today. We'll see if Jose gives them a bit of a run around at the end of the game, depending on the result at that point, of course. For Ronald Koeman, Kumile starts in goal with Holgate, Williams, Jagielka and Baines. It's Barry McCarthy and Dave Feo as well. The loss of Romelu Lukaku is a telling point for the up front. Darren Gibson, former United man, makes the bench for them today. Paul Tierney, we haven't really heard his name come up a lot this season, will referee today's game. And it looks like, finally, United are getting a different profile of referees as opposed to Anthony Taylor a lot at the start of the season. So here we go then, match is underway, and obviously one noticeable inclusion would be Ross Barkley for Everton in the middle of the park. It's going to be a struggle for them this afternoon, although you never know, I suppose. And towards Zlatan, McCarthy can't keep the ball. Zlatan! And Zlatan just out-muscling McCarthy. He forced Gimile into a save. And look at this with Zlatan. Wonderful play. Maybe questions of a foul, but to flip it, McCarthy did really well to put Zlatan off his stride and force a tamer shot for Gimile to deal with. United corner. To take it towards Piqué at the near post. Mata back in towards Zlatan this time, and there's a clash of players everywhere. And Gimile clears the ball. Mata. Mkhitaryan. Mata again. Martial. Played to Zlatan. Good save by Gomez. And Martial's going to let that run out for a corner. Manchester United looking back to their best somewhat. And defence in Zlatan's been really tremendously good in this first half. A couple of shots that were not at Zlatan's best. Obviously under pressure, even he can have to change his shot. Another occasion, and Martial puts it in off the corner. Great header by Martial. And it looks like he shook off that knock that he suffered early in the half. Wonderfully done by Anthony Martial, headed right in the top, out of the top drawer and into the corner. No one, the keeper's nowhere near it. And it's not that Martial wasn't pressured, but he rose the tallest, did tremendously well. Great opening goal for the game for Manchester United. And Martial was the goal scorer against Leicester as well. So Zlatan has to deal with defensive pressure and get his shot changed. Martial has been the one scoring the goals in the last 3 games. Manchester United failed to score against West Brom. So that's 2 from 3 for Martial now. And there's a chance perhaps for Everton from this cross. The referee looked to play advantage, but calls an end to proceedings for the first half, and Manchester United seem to be the better team all round. And towards the end, Anthony Martial rose the tallest from a corner and headed it into the goal. No chance for Gimile, the goalkeeper, who's done admirably well against Zlatan, but Manchester United look back to somewhat their best, and this win will be vital after the setback at West Brom. Manchester United lead at the half by 1-0. Look at the second half here at Old Trafford as the race for the title continues, and we have an update to bring to you from the Emirates Stadium as Arsenal have a 2-0 lead in their game at the moment. So, if the results were to stay like that, they're about an hour into the game at the Emirates. Arsenal had the lead. If the results stay as they are, then the table will stay as it was at the beginning of the day. Bringing great back heel. So, this win is crucial for Manchester United. With Arsenal, they're not giving up, are they? They're relentless. Grab it! Saved by De Gea and cleared by Shaw. Just about. Ashley Williams is not going to get there, is he? Yes, he is. Oh, he's kicked it in. And Zlatan has completely been undone by that from Ashley Williams. But fortunately, Shaw was there to deal with the oncoming attack. Holgate finds Barkley. One goal here would change everything. It would put Manchester United and Arsenal on even points, but due to Manchester United's superior goal difference... Oh, Barkley has scored! Barkley has scored for Everton, and why does that keep happening to me? I keep mentioning something, and then the opposite happens, and the game has completely changed. Barkley has given Everton an equaliser. They started the brighter of the second half, and now, as I was saying, with the scores now completely different, Manchester United would lose 2 points. They have a 2-point lead. So you add the point. Arsenal get 3. And Manchester United still stay at the top due to their superior goal difference. They've played over an hour at the Emirates. I think it's West Ham they're playing. And now the landscape of the Premier League changes again. And like we said at the top of the show, it's not looking like a total runaway as it was at the start of the season when Manchester United could do no wrong and just score goals for fun. It's a foul on Martial. And the referee's going to pull that back. Next game in Everton's case is a match against the champions Leicester City under Craig Shakespeare, who lost a couple of games back against Manchester United due to Martial of all people. Beautiful ball to Martial. Could he play in Zlatan? Is Zlatan offside? No, he's not. And Zlatan has given United back the lead. He's carved Everton to shreds there. Brilliant passing. And Manchester United back to their best. What a ball to Martial that was. And then Martial finding Zlatan onside. And Zlatan has looked like it has gone through the legs of the keeper. Right through him. It's so unfortunate. Oh, Gimir is unfortunate there. Zlatan nutmegging the keeper without even having his feet to the ball. And that's really unfortunate. And Zlatan gets his 8th of the season in the league. And he's not tearing it up as a lot of people would have thought to be like, but let's not forget Zlatan is in his mid-30s now. But he's still an unbelievable specimen of human being and still able to bring out his best, even as his age increases. And he's given Manchester United back the lead here. And it is now as you were again in terms of the league positioning. Bremen has a save with a hair to make. All accounts, they didn't score a point until I think it was like the 8th game of the season. And it's all just been bad from there. Well, cut in by Baines, and Gerard Piqué has put it in his own net. It's an own goal by Gerard Piqué. What was going on there? And, well, what a crazy game. Later, Baines goes to Rommel Kunin to celebrate, but it's got to be an own goal by Gerard Piqué. Oh, my word. David De Gea has got to be furious with Gerard Piqué. What is this? That's a very comical moment by Gerard Piqué. It's unfortunate. It happens to the best of them. And Piqué inadvertently has put it in his own net. And now the situation changes again. Now we're back to the situation we had just a few minutes ago. Arsenal now top of the table, but second on goal difference. Gerard Piqué, it's happened to the best of us. But I guess it was a difficult situation for him, to be fair. He is quite tall. He's not really athletic in terms of acrobatics and things like that, but it wasn't an awkward angle for Piqué. Couldn't really get his head to it. It's a great cross from Baines on that regard. But Gerard Piqué has been really unfortunate there. And Everton are also going to make way for James McCarthy. He's going to come on for former United man Darren Gibson. Mata. Short back to Mata. And Zlatan saved and in by Mkhitaryan. 3-2. And the goals keep on coming. And Manchester United are certainly not taking this lightly. It's a great ball from Mata to Zlatan, who forces a save out of the goalkeeper. But can't get back up quick enough to stop that for Mkhitaryan. And Manchester United back in the lead again. But I don't think it's the end of the goals here. Mkhitaryan gives United back the lead. United 3, Everton 2 now. I think I'll get it back. And Zlatan! Was the save out of the goalkeeper. Brilliantly hit. He's done well against Zlatan this afternoon, Jimine. What a strike by Zlatan that is, and what a save. It's a brilliant save. And here we have a United corner. And in by Martial again. And Manchester United looking to make a triple substitution. It looks like Ollie Cox and Hugh Cooper are warming up. It looks like Jose is going to bring them on. It looks like Angel Correa is going to come on as well. So let's see who goes off. It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Anthony Martial and Juan Mata for Angel Correa, and debuts for Ollie Cox and Hugh Cooper. And now things are getting a little bit more interesting. Let's see what these kids can do. Oh, and is that a penalty? Remen is down. He's trying to get the attention of the referee, but he blows for full time instead. And Manchester United very, very fortunate. The game was pretty much over. That probably should have been a penalty. Well, Jose Mourinho, another hard-fought match for his team this afternoon. Everton really gave them a good game. And thanks to the brilliance of Zlatan early in the second half, and Mkhitaryan finishing off a rebound save from the goalkeeper. But Everton gave them a fight today. Even Gerard Piqué scored a goal, although being the other side. But in the end, Manchester United persisted through, and the table is as you were, with Arsenal's win at the Emirates today. So the scores from the rest of today's fixtures: Arsenal actually got a third goal at West Ham and won by 3-0, meaning of course the table stays as you were. Burnley have done their season real more harm really, with a loss 1-0 to Stoke City. Hull City losing to Middlesbrough by 2-0. The champions finally getting some respite with a 1-0 win over Sunderland. Manchester United win 3-2 with Everton. Swansea lose to Spurs by 1-0. Watford beating West Brom by 2-1. So the table is as you were then. Manchester United still with that game in hand and 2-point lead over Arsenal. But look at that goal difference, +8. And like we said, the draw wouldn't have affected United too much. Their goal difference is far superior. Spurs in third thanks to their win as well. So they keep in touch with the leaders and rivals. Arsenal, Crystal Palace still in fourth. Chelsea and Liverpool 5th and 6th. West Ham, Stoke, Leicester and Bournemouth completing the top 10. Manchester City look like they're out of the relegation zone thanks to Everton's loss today. West Brom are down there as well. And Burnley with the points dwindling down. And I think when I look at this, let's add this up. It's a close one. I think Burnley all but down at this point. I don't think it's mathematically possible yet, but it is looking very much increasingly unlikely. I think Burnley might be gone. 16 to 32. That's 34. That's about. Yeah, I think Burnley could be mathematically gone as well. So Burnley's misery compounded today, and it looks like they are all but relegated. The road to the end of the season continues. It's another bit of a condensed schedule we're in the middle of right now for Manchester United, as their league form starts to come into question despite a late winner at Bournemouth. They come up against Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium today. In the last encounter between these two, it was a late winner that grabbed them the 3 points at Old Trafford after a magnificent save from Valdez from a corner. They still had their 2-point lead over Arsenal, and I think they do have a game in hand over them as well. And like we said a couple of times already in this late stage, despite what it looked like at the start of the season, Manchester United aren't going to run away with things as easy as we thought. Victor Valdez, the former United man, in goal for Middlesbrough. He started against them at Old Trafford and pulled off a stunning save from a corner, but unfortunately Angel Correa was actually the one that rose above all and scored a header right on the stroke of full time, and I think he starts up front for United today as well. Well, it's back to refereeing a Manchester United game in the first time in a while for Anthony Taylor. Unfortunately, we haven't got the lineups on the screen once again. I'm not sure why that is the case, but I think we'll just have to roll with it here. So a couple of interesting names on the Manchester United starting lineup. Hugh Cooper and Ollie Cox, both who came on in the previous matchup against Bournemouth. And an early save for David De Gea to make already. That's a quick start. And like we said, Angel Correa starting for Manchester United up front. The man who scored the winner when these two last met at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Russo with the corner. That's not the greatest of headers by Blind, but it does fall to Marcus Rashford, and it is actually Marcus Rashford starting over Angel Correa. My apologies for that. Cox playing the ball, and Daley Blind's going to come after it, but Valdez is going to gather it up. So it's De Gea in goal with Smalling, Jones and Rojo, with Semedo at right back as we get a booking here. It's going to be for Desart. Let's see the infringement here. I think it's unfortunate, really. I think it's a clash of players. I think Blind is probably half, if we're being fair, actually probably the one that caused the foul in the first place. I think he's kind of looking for that. And Memphis already from the free kick. Middlesbrough kind of half asleep in the midfield. It's Memphis with Cooper on both sides, and with Blind and I think it's Rudy, and Cox is actually playing behind Rashford. And Valdez, as we said, starting goal for Middlesbrough. Cox playing a ball to Daley Blind. Cut in by Jones. And is Cooper going to get there? Yes, he is. But his touch wasn't great. Jones again, superb tackle by Phil Jones on his day, an absolute beast. But a lot of criticisms being said that he's pretty much made of glass. And Ollie Cox forces Valdez into a save, and that's promising for the youngster. And Cox making his Manchester United debut against Bournemouth. Came on as a substitute for the final 5 minutes or so. He's sent a shot towards Valdez there. That'll be interesting to see if he can build on that. Rooney will take the resulting corner. And towards Marcus Rojo with the header, and away by Friend off the line, and finally cleared away. And Marcus Rojo, who scored a header like that earlier in the season, almost getting a second goal to his name. Ollie Cox is playing really well at the moment. Really good touches. Great pass to Rojo, who came forward. And here is goal line technology. It's a great piece of defending from Friend on the line. Definitely no goal. Friend does greatly positioning there. And did really well not to handball and give away a penalty. That's a superb piece of defending by the Middlesbrough man on the post. Here is Friend down the other side. Now bringing it into the box towards Negredo. Jones heads away. And actually gets it away. As far as Rooney. Phil Jones is having a good start to the game. Blind. Rashford. Cox is making some runs in front of him. Ollie Cox cuts inside. And it's off the post. And Valdez just about getting to that. And Ollie Cox is causing Middlesbrough a few headaches here. He's done really well thus far. And it's going to roll to David De Gea. And Manchester United, they do love the youth player. And Ollie Cox is showing why. He's doing really well. It's another great tackle from Cox. And he's really doing well at the moment. Rashford. Marcus Rashford off the post. And Blind gets into a collision. He keeps the ball. Cox turns and shoots, but straight up Rashford who shoots, and Valdez with a good save. And Manchester United are rolling up the gears now. Ollie Cox is just shooting for fun. It came off Rashford inadvertently, who was able to turn and shoot. And Middlesbrough are just falling apart at the back now. Rashford with another shot to his overgoing collection there. Rooney with the resulting corner, headed in by Memphis. It's going to be a goal kick, I think. Next for Middlesbrough will be the Premier League against pretty much relegated Burnley, to be honest. I don't think there's going to be any way they can save themselves with so little time remaining and so far off the pace of safety. And even the team above them, let alone safety itself. Poor Burnley have had a wretched season. They started really poorly with no points after 8 games or so. Rashford and Cox intertwining really well here. Cox is at the post again. And Cooper just put it back in. And Ollie Cox is getting ever closer to his first Manchester United goal. And Gaston has come away on the break here for Middlesbrough. Hold the phone. And Negredo and De Gea, great save. And Middlesbrough were able to really account the counter-attack there, but stopped by the brilliance of David De Gea as hashtag Dave Saves becomes in effect. It's a great move by Gaston, and then he finds Negredo, who probably should have done better there, to be honest. Stewart tries to turn and shoot, and David De Gea once again there. Cox with not the greatest of first touches, but he did find Rooney there. And Rooney played towards Memphis. Manchester United playing some really nice football in this first half. Chested down by Rashford. Rashford going all the way. That's a penalty surely, and it's finally given by Anthony Taylor. And it's only going to be a talking to the Middlesbrough captain, but it is a penalty to Manchester United. Rashford, it's a clear penalty. No doubt made about that one. And it's going to be Rooney to take it, I think. And he scored the highest majority of penalties for Manchester United this season. And no complaints, really. Here comes Rooney, and he buries it in the corner. And Wayne Rooney has been the most successful penalty taker for Manchester United this season. And that continues with a thumping goal here past his former teammate Victor Valdez, who was nowhere near it, to be honest. So Wayne Rooney now scoring, I think it's 254 Manchester United goals as he pulls ever further away from Sir Bobby Charlton's record on the eve of maybe what could be his last season for Manchester United, with Everton showing interest of a comeback for him. There is out to Cooper. Cox once again playing a almost delightful ball to Memphis, and Cox will shoot. And this boy's played a great 45 minutes so far. Ollie Cox taking it on his left foot, and he wasn't far off either. And Ollie Cox straight out of the academy onto the pitch and making an impact here. Given much more time, but he was in his debut against Bournemouth. And he's playing ever so well at the moment. Rashford. Ollie Cox again. On to Rashford. He's skid through. And he's wide, Marcus Rashford. And this was a great touch from Rashford to get into some space, but he just couldn't get the shot under his control there. And Cox is going to be audacious. And that is the end of the dominant 45 minutes for Manchester United, despite the early chance for Middlesbrough early on in the game. It's been all United from there. Cox has really been impressive in this first half, the youngster. But it's a Wayne Rooney penalty that separates the sides after Rashford was brought down in the box. Middlesbrough 0, Manchester United 1, and look almost unstoppable here. Manchester United have a 1-0 lead as we begin the second half. And it's been a pretty dominant performance from United thus far. Wayne Rooney has buried that off Marcus Rashford. And another goal for Wayne Rooney then. And Marcus Rashford, it looked like he was playing that more towards Cox, but Rooney came up with it instead and buried it. And Wayne Rooney all of a sudden is looking very promising this afternoon. And he's giving Manchester United a 2-0 lead. All by himself. And Wayne Rooney now on 255, I believe that is. I'm starting to lose count with Wayne Rooney. He's still scoring even now. Middlesbrough have it all to do with Manchester United in this sort of form. They have a 2-0 lead and look to be staying at the top of the table for now. And away come Manchester United with Memphis and Cox. Take by Daley Blind. Manchester United come forward with Rashford, and Cooper is going to find Cox. Cox is going to go down, and another penalty for Manchester United, and it's Ayala, and he's going to go into the book for that. Cox has been Middlesbrough's real problem this afternoon, and he's now caused his team some more headaches here. And Ayala, well, he clearly brings down Cox. Really, no decision needed to be, other decision needed to be taken. And Middlesbrough have some real headaches. And here comes Wayne Rooney for a hat-trick opportunity. But Valdez is going to deny him. It's a good save by Valdez and a very pretty good penalty by Rooney, to be honest. I think it was just a better save from Valdez on that occasion. So nothing wrong with that one, as Manchester United will go to the Stadium of Light next to take on Sunderland. And it is all happening here at the Riverside Stadium. Wayne Rooney unfortunately denied a hat-trick, which would have been his first for quite a while. As he comes forward for Middlesbrough, no one there for them. Everton able to take it cleanly. Fred. Now here's Hugh Cooper. Cooper plays to Cox again, and Cox shoots. It's gone through Valdez out for a corner. And Ollie Cox has been sensational this afternoon. He's done everything but score, the youngster. Manchester United corner. Rooney will take it. And towards Memphis. Nelson Semedo. Another try. Well, Ollie Cox and Hugh Cooper are going to be going off for Angel Correa and Jesse Lingard. And Ollie Cox probably gets an honourable mention for man of the match performance today. He's probably just behind Rooney because of his 2 goals, but an honourable mention for Ollie Cox, who's played really well this afternoon. Obviously the youngsters are now substituted. And just to see this game out, Jose Mourinho for sure. Even though his side have been pretty dominant all game long. Great tackle once again by one of the defenders for Manchester United. Rashford plays to Daley Blind. He's played in Memphis. All he has to do is score. He's off the post. And the woodwork on both ends of the pitch is taking a battering this afternoon. As Ollie Cox just hit it twice on the other side. Now Memphis is attacking on this side of the pitch. Ray puts Friend under tremendous pressure, but he's able to get it to his teammate Bearwood. And there just seems to be no forward oomph from Middlesbrough here in this matchup. They will return to Europe next season in the Champions League. They still are part of the Europa League, don't forget as well. They could still win that. Here's Marcus Rashford, and he makes it 3-0. And the result is all beyond doubt. It's another goal for the phenomenal Marcus Rashford. And you could tell Middlesbrough kind of waved the white flag when Rashford had the ball there. And he made it look so easy, as he's done all season. Marcus Rashford. And Valdez probably should be doing better. But when it's Marcus Rashford, you pretty much have no chance. Unless it's straight at you. And that is the 11th goal at the Premier League season for Marcus Rashford. He's definitely been Player of the Year in my opinion. It's a sensational one-man show at times, Marcus Rashford. 3-0 to Manchester United in an absolutely dominating performance. Probably their best of the season. Middlesbrough rarely threatened, and when they did, the sensational David De Gea kept them all out all afternoon. Manchester United literally in a stroll here where youngster Ollie Cox made his mark, but Marcus Rashford and Wayne Rooney were the scorers today. And Manchester United incomparable this afternoon, proving why they are the champions elect. Not long to go now, and Manchester United seem to have one hand on the trophy if they perform like this before it's even over. Middlesbrough 0, Manchester United a dominant 3. That was the only game this afternoon, so let's have a look straight at the table. Manchester United with a game in hand over the rest of the top 4, and Spurs appear to have shot up to second out of nowhere. Arsenal dropped to third, and now with 7 games left, Manchester United can breathe a little easier, but it's not over yet. Palace go back into 4th ahead of Liverpool, Chelsea in 6th, and the champions in 10th. The honourable mentions are West Ham and Bournemouth so far this season. Manchester City starting to get a little daylight between themselves and the relegation zone, which are Everton, West Brom and Burnley.